Today we have a special guest. This is Teresa. She is from Texas. Say hello.
So glad to be here.
We're glad to
Thanks
have
for coming.
you.
Yeah.
This is awesome. She is not in the mental health field. She is actually in finances, and she is our special guest today as we talk about Walmart. Walmart is right now thinking about possibly adding mental health inside of their stores. So we wanted to touch a little bit of bases on that.
So basically, Beacon Health Options has presented to Walmart the opportunity to offer mental health services in one of their stores. So right now the pilot program is occurring in Carrollton, Texas, which is a little bit outside of Dallas. And what they're trying to do is basically to see if this works. And I imagine likely if it works, then they'll sort of, this will be,
more. There'll be
this
more.
will just be the pilot model and they'll franchise out from there.
Yeah.
So it's not actually ran by Walmart. They're not actually providing the services because they're just providing the space, if you will. So you know how they have like nail salons and hair salons in Walmart.
Yep.
Now they're going to have a mental health sort of, I don't know what the setup is going to be like.
I did read that it was outpatient.
It is outpatient.
So it's just come in, and I don't know exactly how the setup, if you have to be a client, if you're not a client, if you just want to come in. But, you know, so what do you think about mental health inside of Walmart?
That is an interesting question. Now, I had no idea that Walmart was going to do this, but for the most part, I like that Walmart is available almost everywhere. It's probably like in any,
Good point.
5 miles radius to where you actually are. And I think for the reason that they are close to you and that it's easily accessible, I think that's definitely a good option. As far as maybe privacy, I think for me, whenever I have looked for a therapist in the past, it's been someone the distance is so much further. And I tend to run into people at my local Walmart.
Right.
And if they're gonna see me like walk in there knowing that I mean, it's not that I frown upon seeing a therapist, but it's always that concerning eye, like, oh, hey, I saw you, is everything okay?
Is it the stigma that has to go along with it?
A little bit,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There is a stigma.
There is a stigma.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that's a good point.
That is a good point.
Because you might run into somebody you know, and then you might be coming in or out of the appointment, and then it might be like therapy or, whatever the banner is that they're going to say.
And that's a very good question. I wonder if it's going to be more undercover or if it's going to be saying Beacon Mental Health up there or whatever it should. Yeah.
Right.
What is it really going to be that, and just as you said, you think it's a great idea, but then again, there's that possibility of someone because you're going within your neighborhood to go there that might see you.
Or, a quick lunch run, try to get in an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So there is like convenience versus confidentiality.
Correct.
And for those that don't know too much about Carrollton, Texas, it's a rural town.
Oh.
And so that's why they chose to put it in Carrollton versus in like Dallas metro area.
Okay.
Right. And so again, speaking to that confidentiality piece or running into people just in general, you're already in a rural town. So they did it for, like you said, access and convenience to services. However, everybody knows everybody and everybody's going to know everybody at this local Walmart.
That's a possibility, a very high possibility.
Sure.
Exactly. So, but overall, I think that I like the fact that even Walmart is taking notice
Absolutely.
to mental health and how vital it is to
Kudos to
our
Walmart.
Yes, exactly. To our community. And I think that's a really great step forward for us.
Absolutely. I think it was great too that we have so many entrepreneurs as clinicians.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes we can get stuck in a box of this is what we're supposed to do, this is your path. And I think we need more of that as clinicians. I think we need to be more creative in terms of how do we increase access to services. Part of the reason why Sherry and I wanted to do the show was to increase access to mental health and destigmatize mental health, destigmatize therapy.
That is correct.
And so we feel like this is our way of reaching out, and we're also going to be reaching out in the rest of season 2, doing more community outreach.
Community outreach, yes. That is so exciting. I'm so excited.
It is.
Just so awesome. But enough of that. We'll talk about that later.
We're on that later. Right. How to self-promote there. How to self-promote. But it is true, we do need to be more creative as far as how we sort of bring mental health services, mental health awareness, our service delivery model needs to change. And so I think this is a great first step. So as clinicians though, Sherry, how do we keep things confidential if you were to work in the local Walmart?
That is such a great question. How would we? Well, you know what? I believe, that if we were to work at the local Walmart inside the mental health professional building,
Right.
Maybe there should be an access to a door that goes outside of it instead of inside of it. So when you're inside of it, you're not going in there. It's actually a side door or something.
I like that.
Something of that sort. And then of course, there's privacy. You can't reveal anybody. You
Sure.
can't just talk about anybody. There's all that good, HIPAA. It's wonderful. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Would that make you feel more comfortable, Teresa, if you were to have like a different entrance into the Walmart?
Entrance, exit, whatever, yeah.
Definitely a different entrance. Maybe not so much like a big banner.
Correct. Okay, I
Like
can see
a
that.
gray door that you walked in.
Got
and it's
it.
just anonymity.
Yeah.
Can I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, whether it's on the side, it's because we never see like the tire, the automotive stuff, unless we go around the building to go there.
That's true.
So do we see the automotive part of Walmart?
No,
No,
we
we
just know it
don't.
exists.
Exactly.
That's a good point. I had to think. I was like, do I?
Yeah, I think that, that could be part of it. Don't know until they reveal on what they're going to do, but I think that would help with some of the privacy.
Definitely. I think when you shop into Walmart and you see like nail salons and banks, their lobby is up in front. And
It's
you can
right
see
there.
people are
That's
waiting.
true.
Yeah,
As long as the
bam.
lobby's not in the front,
Yep.
it's hidden in the back, and privacy, I
Yeah.
think I would be okay checking it out.
Well, what do you think, Sarita?
I think that's a good option, in terms of having that privacy, to your point of having it maybe not so neon lights that are flashing like somebody's coming to therapy, kind of thing. Because even if it's just for something like life stressors all the way to chronic mental health issues, then, people do like to have a certain amount of privacy. They do it in banks, with bankers, they take you to a separate
They do.
area. And, whatever your financial needs are, they take care of that in a private way. And so I feel like for mental health, it should be the same. So it's definitely, the stigma is there, but I think the privacy portion is very important as well.
I think it's very vital. Privacy portion is very vital.
100%,
with it.
yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Do you think that you would have an issue building rapport at all? Would that be a barrier if you were in your local?
That is such a great question. Another one. That's such a good question, because there's always the trust, you're just meeting this person for the first time, and it takes time to build up that therapeutic relationship with your therapist. So it does take time. And a lot of people, it's hard to just talk about what they're truly feeling inside. That takes a little bit of warming, a little bit of time. And there's some that can just say, this is it. But majority of the clientele, it does take a little bit of time, a little bit of trust, a little bit of, both ends, understanding each other, making sure we communicate properly, making sure that, that we're catching the cues as a therapist also, catching those cues, because some people like to be very discreet
100%.
and vague. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Teresa, would you feel like it would be better if it was like its own separate room? So you walk into the area that they have it, and it was an own separate room that you walked into? Or would it be more comfortable if it was more like cubicle setup? Like, what would the setup be if you were to go see a therapist at Walmart? What would you feel more comfortable?
Definitely a private room with all four walls, closed door.
All the way, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in front of the checkout where all the customers are gathered.
And like looking at your
Yeah.
checking the self checkout, like getting some grapes, like, whoo, she needs therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Exactly.
I think too, it kind of gives the clinicians a better sense. If it is a separate private room, I don't know how Beacon's gonna have it set up, but I think to your point, like that gives us control as clinicians of how to set the room up so that it feels more intimate, even though
Very
it's in
much so.
this bigger space. That's a
Very
good
much so.
point.
I have a quick question. So historically,
Yeah.
when I've gone to Walmart, it's always for the low prices against competitors. So I know that they're renting the Walmart space, but do you think it's going to be more accessible to people that maybe don't want to
Yeah, what's the
premium,
cost
yeah.
effective there, huh?
Yeah.
What's that cost
The
effective?
copay, what's the copay gonna be?
Yes, love that. That's a good question.
That is an awesome one. That is to be continued.
Okay, yeah, I
don't
want follow-up.
know. Yeah.
But I think that's a
Right
great
now,
question.
we don't know.
Yeah, that's a
Would
really
that,
good question.
that is a good question, because would that be more of on a sliding scale in terms of self-pay? That is either cash or debit or credit card, or if you use your insurance.
Insurances, exactly.
Yeah.
Are they only accepting what variety of insurances? Variety. What insurances would they be offering? What population would they be catering to is really.
Yeah.
That's a good
That's a really
question.
good one. Yeah.
If you were the CEO of Beacon, Sherry, how would you set it up?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, I got Sherry in the hot seat today.
That's right, you do. Let me tell you. So I think sliding scale, depending on the population, being that it's in a rural community and knowing that what the economy is in that rural area. So a sliding scale would possibly be one of the models inside of the thing, besides certain insurances that would be accepted. I think that would be the most logical for me. But again, I'm not Beacon.
No, that's true. But I love that, and I asked you because you have the business background. I love that she asked that because Teresa has a finance background.
I love
So, you guys are all business and finances. I personally don't have the answer to that question myself. I'm not sure but you would have to think about the population that you're serving.
Yeah, the community. What is the community,
Correct.
the population? Where are we at? Where are we located at? So again, that was the reason I believe for them to think about this model and put it into Walmart so there's accessibility to
Absolutely.
individuals within this rural area. But then again, what is the economy like in that rural area? So that has to be taken into consideration.
So is it better that it's in a retail store? Because I've heard of other integrated health models being that there's more of the one-stop shop kind of thing is the new model, to where they'll have a therapist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, a medical doctor. So people of varying disciplines, but they're mostly medical related. And those, that's another business model where it's all medical professionals and now mental health in the one area versus this retail sort of space. Which one do you think is probably a better model? Just in your personal opinion.
Automatically, I'm going to say the latter one.
Okay.
Because I personally, like in San Antonio, we have like Santa Rosa Hospital. In there, you need to get your blood drawn, or if you need to see this physician or that physician.
okay.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Everyone's there, and I like that you go in for a purpose that it's for medical reasons.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Walmart, you can get, your tire, your oil
Yeah,
change,
everything.
go
Yeah.
shopping,
Your shopping
you can get
done.
eye exam,
Exactly.
mental health,
Your hair, your nails,
yeah.
all of it. In fact, I gotta get the toes done soon.
So I think that is a good point. The connotation's different in terms of services provided by Walmart versus healthcare services provided. Because I don't think maybe it would be less of a stigma when you're going into a doctor or you're seeing an occupational therapist or a speech therapist or something like that, and then you go to see your mental health therapist. I don't think that, it would be as sort of kind of touchy.
Yeah, very touchy.
Yeah.
Very
That
touchy.
makes a lot of sense.
It does. It does.
Well, thank you so much for being here with
so
us.
nice
Very
having
appreciate
you.
it.
Pleasure.
Having
of course.
you. This is great.
Great.
So much.
Stay tuned for more Shrinks to Drinks. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
And also hit that bell.
Yes,
So
for
you get
notification
notifications.
reminders,
That's
right?
right. That's
Yes.
right.
Very special thanks to our special guest,
Thank you.
Teresa,
Thanks
all the
for
way
having
from
me.
Texas.
So great to have you.
Nice to have a little
you.
taste of home. And continue to watch. We never know what we're going to do next.
That's right.
So on that note, we're going to cheers to freedom.
Freedom.
Cheers.
Woo. How do you guys